Hey guys, Brandon here, Redbeard's Corner. Today we're going to be doing a very basic gun upgrade on a rather popular pistol. Tons of these things have been sold. People love them all over the world. It's a Smith & Wesson M&P9. The gun, to start off with, has nothing in the chamber. There's no magazine in it. You can see straight through it there. The sights on this gun have proven that they're definitely not that durable. These are the factory sights. The little white dots on the insides of these, they just pop out after, a couple hundred rounds, it seems like. They get hot, they pop out, and you can't see the front sight very well. It's just a black post sitting there. I'm going to pull you a little closer. I'm going to show you the sights that we're going to be putting on today, and some of the tools we're going to be using to put those on. Alright, here we are with our Smith & Wesson on the table. Again, for all you safety guys out there, there is nothing in the chamber and the magazine is empty. So obviously today we're going to be upgrading those sights. We're going to be using these Meprolight True Dot Sure Shot sights. They are the tritium night sights. These sights, they work well for my dad. This is his pistol. It allows him to see them a little better. They're nice and bright at night. They're nice and bright during the day. They just seem to work well. I do have a couple sets of these myself. I do love them. For competition stuff, I don't use these, but I do use these on my everyday carries and my home defense pistols. Today we're going to need a 1/16 Allen wrench. Smith & Wesson is nice enough to put a set screw on the top of there that you have to undo before you push the sights off. The other thing we're going to be using is a sight pusher. This is a cheap sight pusher. I got it off of eBay, I think, for $20–30. I wanted something that was going to do the trick without having to beat on the gun. Some of this tape off there. So I decided to try this out. All it is looks like 2x2 box tubing and some bolts and a few pieces that have been made. I made some new pieces. The pusher itself is it's got a nice hard finish on it. However, I didn't want to mess up the new sights when I put them on, so I'm working in a machine shop and I've made them out of brass. It's an excellent piece. The guy that made these for me is a great machinist. He was able to duplicate the product itself. And then the kit comes with another few aluminum spacers, depending on the gun and slide model, which I haven't found one yet that they fit. I just kind of make do with it. Another thing I like to do is I like to tape up the gun, and I tape up the clamping blocks, and I actually tape the surface of the pusher itself. Takes a standard 3/4 inch ratchet and socket. It pushes them off nice and easy. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this over to the vise and show you guys how to upgrade these nice factory sights that Smith & Wesson's put on their gun. So let me get the camera moved and we'll go from there. Alright, so we're set up at the vise here. As you can see with the slide, I've taken every precaution to protect the finish as possible. I've used green painter's tape all around. I also slide in this section here. I put in a little piece of cardstock. Gives it a little more to crush against so it doesn't damage the slide. I can redo the finishes if I had to. However, I prefer not to on something simple like this. So first what we're going to do is we're going to take that Allen screw there, and I'm going to take it all the way out. Some people say you just have to back it out a little bit, but I'm going to take it all the way out. Just makes it that much easier for me to have to worry about. So take that out there. Now we're going to get her set up. I've also went ahead and put painter's tape over the face of the jaws here. I try to take all precautions I can when doing sights like this. So there's that. The sight here, or the sight removal tool that I've got, it doesn't actually come with these legs on it. I welded legs on it. It's just heavy steel plate. I found trying to clamp this in here in this little area, it made things tight when I was trying to get in there to actually do the work on this. So I made those, it got it up a little bit. So here we go. We'll lock this down inside here. Make sure we got this right. close. We'll spin our little gadget tool up here. We'll eyeball it in there. Get her close. We'll make sure she's nice and level. Lock it down. Now these Smith & Wesson sights, it seems like some of them move easy, some of them move hard. This one's going to move easy for me, so it's going to come right out. So we'll just continue on, and that's it. We'll back her off there. Now be careful under here. There's a little spring and a plastic clip, or a plastic little disc. I just use my Allen wrench to catch it and keep backing it off and then lift it out. Now you got to be careful with that because it has to go back in there. Take this out here. There it is. You can see it there. That little plastic disc, and it's actually a spring. So we'll go ahead and pull this out. Take the spring out. I'll show you here if it'll come out. And there you are, that little piece. Make sure that's in there. Don't be trying to leave these parts out. They're very important. So we'll leave that on the table, and we'll flip it around here, and we'll push the front side out. The front side's the same way. Get her in there and get her leveled up. Try to get her close to the there. Now these I had them be a little bit more of a pain to come out, these front sights, but usually they are shoulder level, and start pushing. Like I said, these are a little tougher. They stay in there a little better. And there we go. Out comes this sight. Pretty simple overall. There you are. Sights out. No damage to any of the finish on there, front nor back. So we'll grab the new sights here. Again, we're using the Meprolight True Dot Sure Shot sights. That's a tongue full there. We'll get them opened up and we'll get them slid in. Now, if you notice, they are a little different on the rear sight. These are nice and long, extend the sight radius a little bit, but work just as good. So with our rear sight, we're going to go ahead and put our spring back in. We're going to back our pusher all the way. Now this we're going to start in, and we're going to have to push down on it just a little bit at the same time to get it to start. Just like that. See there, it started in there. Now we'll get this back in here. Sometimes you have to adjust the parts out. This was not quite going to go. Let's give it a little bit more of a push. And the sight is being a bit of a pain. Alright, I have a rubber mallet here. Isn't going to hurt anything. Just give it a couple whaps on that to seat it a little farther. Here we go. Now that we can get our sight in there, get it pushed up and lined back up. Like I said, it's just a light rubber mallet. It's not going to hurt anything. I don't want any of you to run out there and grab a hammer and start beating on anything. I do know some guys that are like that. Hammers are for nails. And we'll just start pushing. And it draws it up very nicely. Very evenly, very uniform. Doesn't hurt the surfaces. As we get close to the gun, I want to reposition it to make sure that I do not get into the slide finish. Just want to catch the bottom end of that. Back this off just a little bit more. Just the bottom end of that side is all you want to really catch. So there we go. And we'll keep pushing. And look at the sides there, and they look pretty even. And there's your rear sight, all installed. Ready to go. Now we'll switch over to the front. Hopefully we won't have any issues with the front here. These usually aren't as wide. We'll back our pusher off here. And we'll set it and make sure our slide's nice and level. We'll spin this in here. And this front sight, I'm very careful with these. I go a little bit at a time. They like to start crooked sometimes. So be very careful of that. Then we get to the edge of the gun. And reposition. So we barely catch that sight. Right there. Oops, sorry about that camera there. Kick the leg. Tripod. And continue to push on her. And I know roughly where the front sight was, so we'll go right back to that point. I do mark them. I did not show you that, but it's always good to mark these. You can push and slide them back and forth with the sight pusher, which is also nice. Just a little off my mark there. And there it is. It's a nice sight, nice installed sight there, front sight. See it on there. So you have your front and rear sights. Now let's stick this out of the vise here. Set it on there so you can see the whole thing is done. We'll unwrap it here and we'll put the gun back together real quick and we'll give you a quick view. Alright, I figured I'd also show you real quick. The sights turned out great. We're going to go ahead and put it back together. It's very simple. Anybody who's going to attempt to do this is going to know hopefully how to disassemble a gun. If not, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there over this. One thing I did notice is this barrel is extremely dry. So I'm going to go ahead and put some lube on it for him as well. I use gun grease. I know there's everybody argues out there whether you use gun grease, automotive grease. I don't get it. I mean, I buy it just because it says gun grease on it. It makes it easy. It comes in a nice tube. Ain't got to deal with it. It's a little more expensive, but it doesn't bother me much. I mean, it's $6 for the thing. So we're going to go ahead and slide some good grease on there. I like to oil the springs as well. Again, I buy gun oil. I know a lot of guys out there are using some automotive oils and stuff like that, but it's just too simple to go to the gun aisle and get this for me. I've got a guy that actually is a distributor, so he kind of helps me out too. So we'll slide this back in here. In there. Put a little gun grease on the rail pieces here, and that's just out of a preference. Like I said, there's a difference. Some guys use oil, some guys use grease. I actually just switched over to greases. I think they seem to stay on there a little better. They don't start leaping out of the gun everywhere. I guess that way you know the gun's always oiled. Go ahead and slide that back in there. Make everything's holding. Oop. And there we are. Last thing that I do here is tighten back down the Allen wrench, the 1/16 Allen wrench, the rear sight. And there you go, it's set. So there you go, you have a Smith & Wesson MP night sights. So it'll work out pretty good. Well, thanks for watching my video.